For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, yeah. For the...
Alright guys, so it's the off week. Had to work this weekend, on call this week. So race car stuff gets put on hold for the actual racing. But this is the time, if I'm not called out, which I was yesterday, this is the time that we get to do some things, you know, a little bit of maintenance on the car. Two things that I've been wanting to work on. One is the oil pressure situation. I'm going to do some inspecting of those things. And then I've also got a manual gauge that we're going to put on the car, so that way if I see the oil pressure drop on the screen, we don't have any safeties set or anything like that, and it's such a sporadic condition, so we're not sure exactly what's causing it. But I have a manual gauge so that I can, peace of mind, know that we've got things there. So I'm going to try to get that mounted today. Another thing is just prettiness. We did some of the added on cages and stuff like that, so I'm going to try to get a little bit of paint on some of those things, and yeah, just some pretty basic maintenance stuff today. Talk to you about what we've got going on the back of the car for ballast, and show you what we did. Maybe you can take it and use it in your car. Let's get to it. So this is our setup, our weight setup. I do have a couple of weights that are also back here, but this is something that we added on back in February, March area. And so we got 3 sets of bolts that bolt down through, and then here is our tracks that we use. I forget the exact weight of these things. I think the big one is 75 and maybe 50-50. I don't remember exactly. They're not as heavy as you think, but they also sit sort of low, so we can still run everything here. But one thing is we never got any paint on them. So what I'm going to do now, scuff this up a little bit. If this bee decides to leave me alone, the yellow jacket decides to leave me alone, that'd be nice. And we're going to try to get this cleaned up and coat of paint. I'll show you what I'm using. I'm just using the VH1 roll bar paint, something that you can get at AutoZone, something pretty basic, and put a little bit on this just so it looks a little better back here. I'm also going to do the same thing because I'm going to paint these right here. That way it looks a little prettier back here. And I'm going to also clean some of this stuff up. It's been rode hard and put up wet a lot here lately, so nice little bit of whatever you want to call it, maintenance. And we'll get the job done today, so let's get to it. So here's our first coat. Do not judge. We're doing this in the enclosed trailer, which is probably not the best, but I just want something that's going to coat this. I actually have decided to not do more back in there just because of the overspray and things. Back here, not a huge giant ordeal. And obviously, like, this thing is not a show car by any stretch of the imagination. So, all right, let's get these painted up. I'm just going to paint them right there on the tailgate here, lift gate, ramp, whatever you want to call it, and be good to go. So let's get some done to it. All right, are they pretty? No. Perfect? No. But are they done? Well, no, they still got to dry. So we're going to let those dry, maybe put another coat on them. We're going to let all this dry up in here. And here comes the fun part is I'm going to work up there on the oil pressure sensor. I'm going to just take a look at some different things. If I find anything, I'll let you guys know. I'll show you what we found. And it's just, the lighting sucks. Everything like that sucks up there. And I'm hopefully we'll get this gauge installed today. I don't really have a gauge pod per se, so I got to figure out a way to get it mounted up. So I'll get that figured out. We're gonna let this dry, and because this is technically satin black, so I'll show you guys what it looks like. I'll probably go by and put another coat or two on these back bars, and then I'm gonna clean this stuff up. Reason mainly I do this is, you know, I open this up to do ice and fuel and charge a battery. I'd love to get the thing that like goes out here to the fuel door and plug in that way, so I wouldn't have to do this every time, but it is what it is. And when I do that, you know, people come by and talk to me, and this just looked so rough, which it still is not perfect by any stretch. I'm going to be cleaning some stuff up once the car goes down for winter upgrades, and we'll clean some stuff up, just simple stuff. But man, when you're racing and you're doing things at the racetrack to get yourself to the next round and just to get things done, or, you know, you rush, this is usually how it works. You know, things aren't 100% of what you would like for them to be. And so it is what it is type of situation. But all right, I'm gonna get to it, try to get this. I'll show you what we find out on the oil pressure sensor, and then we'll go from there. So we got oil pressure gauge. It's not mounted. I'll have a pod. They actually finally make pods for roll cages now. Whenever I first built this car, that seemed to be an extremely hard thing to find. It's like, but anyways, let's, I've got the new sensor, replaced the sensor plug-in, and obviously I installed this line. So let's see if we get anything on startup. Let's see what we get here without firing it off. All right, got up to 36 pounds of pressure. It's gonna be a little difficult for us to see for some reason. All right, let's fire this thing off. Oh boy. Oh, this is gonna be rough in here whenever we go M1, but we won't have that big boy anymore. So, oh my gosh. So, yeah, as you can see, I was getting ready to give y'all some pretty legit 360 footage that last time. So, sorry neighbors about that. I'm pretty pumped that that worked so well. So now I'm gonna go in, order this pod, see if we can get it in a decent amount of time. And yeah, the good thing is if I mount that sort of, well, I can just butt connector it. My lights, I'm pretty sure that bus bar right there. And this will also have a light. So, and I'm going to try to probably run a different GoPro in the car so that we can watch that during the pass, that in case I'm not able to, like, I mean, I got as big I could and with the big bright numbers. You know, I didn't do like black and white. I did white with black numbers so I could see it. So, all right, cool deal. And over here, it's shaping up. Looks much, much, much better. So, heck yeah. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit more here for a little bit, and then we should be ready to rip. All right, whew, nasal passages are cleared out, that's for sure. Golly. All right, guys, they look good. These parts, the piping, the cage looks good. These bars look great. I'm not going to put these back on right now because we're going to a front side track here lately. I've got about 200 pounds in there already. So, all right, so the question is, like, why do we run ballast? What's the purpose? I'm sure you've seen it, a lot of no prep guys, you know, we want to be in like the 50-50 range, especially like front side. It just depends on front side. It's really you know, a lot of front side no preps are getting really, really fast now, and the weight does not need to be like 60% in the rear, but a lot of people are, you know, some of that is like proprietary information. Not a lot of people like to divulge that type of stuff, but you know, like, that's the main reason that we put this in here, is I wanted to have nice, securely strapped weight for bias. With all of this weight back here, we're probably like 57-56% on the rear, something like that. It is definitely more attuned to the backside stuff, even though we're going to have to do some changes to the car and get it front side ready, that's for sure. Season is definitely winding down. I would love to hit some street stuff and things of that nature, but there's just going to be a lot more front side. I'm going to keep it somewhat backside ready. That's the great thing about this, is, you know, we can just unbolt what we need and pull things out. So like in this state right here, this is probably mediocre front side. I put all the weight in it. That's our backside stuff. So, and one of the reasons that we do it this way is you want weight, and this is what Bill Hoskinson told me, and it made a lot of sense. You know, you want weight as high and as far back as possible, and that is just acting, you know, like a lever on the car to bring the front end travel up, plant the tire for the majority of the run. That's sort of the point of it there. When it comes to no prep, we're wanting to plant that tire the entire way, and because of the tire does not get as much help from the track as it does in a radial sense. In the radial sense, the glue and the rubber is holding the tire a lot more than the weight of the car is. And that's why you see a lot of guys with like the butt hurt bars, the wings and things of that nature. They act like, you know, giant levers on the car. And so that's why we went this winter and did this. And technically I have options to run it all the way up, but we stopped right here just because of the fuel cell and the water, which technically this winter coming up, just depending on some things, we're going to be changing up to M1, going probably with a front fuel cell and running a belt driven pump. I ran into some snags trying to locate stuff for that, but pretty sure we're going with a rock solid fuel tank up front. And I was going to do a surge tank and run fuel back here. I think I would just rather do everything up front, and that way when I would like to not have to pull this off every single pass to do stuff like I do now. Try to get it to where a single person can do a lot of this stuff, or me and my 7-year-old. So it's you know, there's a lot of stuff that I still need to do to the car, but thankfully, like, we got this waiting now on a gauge pod for the oil gauge. I found out Autometer has one. I've went ahead and ordered it. It should be here later this week. We'll get it installed, And then I think we let me know where you think we should head this upcoming weekend, September 30th. It's getting close to the end of the season for a lot of our northern tracks. I think we've got a no prep. I mean, there's no preps everywhere, but I don't know. It's getting, if you can feel it out here today, it is definitely fall. Today, it would be the second day of fall, and it is, the leaves are coming down like crazy, changing up here. I know down south it's probably still warm, so let me know what you think. I'm pretty pumped with the way the car has been doing. We just, honestly, the last 4 or 5 weeks we haven't been able to because of rain. Rain's killed us. So hopefully we get to race a little bit more this upcoming month. End of October, the last 2 weeks I won't be racing. I've got other engagements, and but we'll be doing some stuff to the car and different things in that time frame. So let me know what you want to see. If you want to see Whitey come back on the channel for a little bit, let me know. We need to do some stuff to it. Got to get some money though, so we need some. I'd like to get some big wins. That would be awesome. So, all right, guys. If you enjoyed this video, this is just a little deal. You know, a little bit of maintenance on the car. Hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready for more content with the twin turbo 4-door Zephyr. It is coming very soon, and hopefully everything stays together and we can end the year out on a bang. I know we've got some plans for the end of the year, so see what we can do. May go to PRI, don't know. Let me know what y'all think, if I'll see any of y'all there. So that's gonna be it for this video. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, yeah. For the